you didn't mean it that way. You were more so of like,
yeah.
are you
No,
okay?
more so
Like,
like we're in the middle of nowhere. I feel like I live, you know, I mean, you live in the city. I don't know, Chad, where you live, Maci? Is it like city?
I live like in
city
a
vibes?
small
town?
small little, it's still city, like, but it's small city outside
Yeah.
the city.
I feel
But
like I live
will
in
say,
like,
even
you know,
in the
like the
South,
downtown city area. I lived for a long time and I've always lived in the city. So I feel like anytime I go somewhere and there's like a certain crowd, especially you can tell the type of crowd with like the stuff they were wearing, the hats they were wearing, like you could tell it was a type of crowd that was like very conservative. And immediately when you walk in, the eyes, like everyone immediately is like whispering. It's like, and we're trying to make the best of it. Like we're all sitting there trying to laugh and try to make the best of it. But you can definitely tell, like when we were inside and outside, and a lot of stuff they didn't film, like the energy and how everyone was like kind of talking around us and looking around us was just weird.
More than just like normal filming in public. Like when you film in public, you know, it's usually going to draw attention anyways. But this was, I mean, coming from the girl who's arguably been doing it the longest, the vibes were different.
It was different. And like you can tell that it was just a different vibe. Like I'm used to being in the city. We go all the way out there and I'm like, this is just not the crowd of people that I would go out and on a vacation and hang around. Like it was just something that wasn't my vibe. So I feel like it was a weird, you know, I feel like it was different. I don't know. It was different.
I think that they could have shown to show like why the blow up, like why, at least why I blew up more.
Yeah, you know? I know. It seemed they made the epic, like our whole trip was days and it was put into one like 50-minute episode. So I feel like a lot of context of why you were upset and why shit was like uncomfortable, or like things we even talked about and said that wasn't on the show.
Yeah.
Like there were so many pieces of things we said and talked about that just wasn't on there. So I feel like it went from us, it looked like we're having a ball, to like all of a sudden something just out of nowhere you were like, I don't feel safe. And it wasn't like that.
It wasn't. And the thing is, like, I'm not the type of person, I feel like I'm not gonna just complain and like I regret not vocalizing how I felt sooner, because I do feel like by the time I vocalized it, I was already in tears. Like I couldn't talk to you guys, not you personally, but like as a group, I couldn't like explain it in a way of not being upset, because I had been there the day before you guys, and then when you guys came, I'm like looking around waiting for someone else to see what I see. And literally I called my dad, and they showed that talk and they cut a lot of that conversation out, and my dad was like,
I know, it was really short.
It was short, and he literally is like on the phone with me, and he's like, hold on, are you filming in a giant teepee? Is that an Indian behind you? And you're telling me that you're going to a rodeo show? Like, understand.
Exactly. That was so weird to me. Like,
cowboys, he's like, why are you staying there? Like,
it was a controversial thing. You see all these like quote unquote like conservative cowboys, and then we're staying in like Native American teepees and these areas, like it, and then we're all sitting there like, hold on, wait, what? And then they're telling us not to call them that because like the place doesn't give money to like Native American culture. They don't support it. They're just profiting off it. We're all over here like, so hold on, you had us all come to this place that has this bad reputation and no one tells us, like no one dug in and no one knew. I'm over here like, what?
They don't even tell us though. I think one of the things I saw a lot on Twitter tonight was like, but didn't Shy and Kate, like, didn't they plan it together? And I'm like, here's the thing, like, we can plan trips, but we can just say like, oh, we think we should take everybody glamping. Like, say it's me and Amber planning a trip or something, or we want to go to the snow, or we want to go, you know, to the beach or whatever. And they take that and they pick like 3 or 4 places, and then they see where they will be able to film at. So
so it cuts it
like
slim.
A final say, and then they don't tell us the address of the place really, literally ever.
So it happens.
Right.
So when I got there, I didn't know what I was walking into, and I feel like that's a lot of the heat that I'm now is, well, why would you go to a place that you knew was like this? I did not know. So understand. Also understand, I don't have a problem with being there. Black person in the room. That doesn't affect me like that. It's when I'm the only Black person in the room and everybody is staring at me and looks like they're ready to hang. That's when I have a problem. Like, that's when I'm uncomfortable. It wasn't
Right.
to all white schools. Like, that's not my issue. The issue was
It's that vibe. Like, you could feel it was different. And then, like, they tell us beforehand, we're going to a resort. So I'm thinking resort.
I posted Zach to tell everybody about the reviews. So after I expressed to you, because we have a family chat, Zach, my dad, my mom, my sister, and I literally put in the chat, this is where I'm staying. Can someone help me understand where I'm at? Because I'm really not feeling comfortable. And my sister started doing research, Zach started doing research. They start sending me reviews where literally the people who have visited the resort are talking about the employees and how it literally, they were talking about how they had an experience where a white employee told a Black employee, I'm going to hang you. And the Black employee just kind of blew it off like this was normal. And she said when she contacted the resort, it just seemed like, or the establishment, it just seemed like this was a norm for them.
That was a normal behavior, yeah.
My parents were like, Shy, understand where you're at and take note. Like, you need to find exits. You need to make sure that you're safe, and you need to alert the people that are around you, because clearly they're not you, but everyone else in production. Clearly they're not seeing what you see, and you're in an unsafe environment. So that was with it. By the time I even did that, it was too late, and I already exploded. And I hate people saying, oh, you're drunk and you exploded. I couldn't drink on that trip because I had surgery. And
yeah. Right.
I wasn't.
So you were sober the whole time, like
so
that.
And mad. And the conversation I had with my dad, I wish they would have actually shown more of it. They cut so much off because he did so much that needed to be shown. Hi, Bree.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
But I just think the trip, one thing that I do like from the trip is that we were able to bond, and moments like this and conversations like this brings us closer together and helps us understand different things. But at the same time, I wish that they would have shown that aspect of it.
Like full circle moments and the context behind everything that
like 2 episodes at least to get in all the bits and pieces, because I felt like a lot of the conversations and a lot of the stuff, it seemed like people were just jumping from a point to another point without the in-between stuff for it to make sense.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on Twitter saying like, what? I feel like I'm missing a whole part. And I'm like, yeah, because you are. MTV didn't put it in there.
Yeah.
There was so much that happened. So much.
I'm so over people telling me that Jade told me I was the only Black person there. Yes, she told me because she was at, and what they didn't show is her asking me after, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Because
what are we doing? What are we doing?
She literally said, what are we doing? Like, tell me what
it's like, you know, when you have a friend or someone and you like are feeling like you guys can feel that there's just this weird vibe, and then you start to observe the room. And I'm very like observant. I'm looking around, I'm listening to conversations, I'm looking at people's faces. It was like in that moment where you're like, okay, now hold on.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. And then I feel like as soon as I said that, like thinking later, I was like, oh, people are going to think that I'm being like mean or hateful. And I'm like, no, I'm just stating a fact. Like, it was weird. And it wasn't the fact you're the only Black person there. It's the fact that they're treating you like you're the only Black person there. Like, they're looking at you, they're making comments. Like, it was different. It's like, I don't know, because you see racism everywhere. You can see it anywhere, but it's the way I feel like at that resort, like how they handle stuff or what they condone is different. And you can see it with the reviews, but I'm like, why would we go to somewhere like that if it had any of that shit going on before we came there? We shouldn't have went.
Yeah.
Because we're just jumping in blindly. Like, they don't tell us where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it was necessarily their fault, because I don't feel like I don't mean it like that, but I don't think they said, okay, let's put you guys here to start this controversy.
Right.
But the problem is, I don't think that they looked for, like, if anything has happened here, or we're bringing the girls to the South, let's make sure that it's safe. Like, that thought didn't cross. But I don't think it was like a purposeful, like, we're going to put you guys here to see what the fuck happens. You know what I mean?
Right. No, but they should ask us.
But
if it's a trip for us, they should ask us a place that we would feel comfortable in going and spending time together. You want us to bond. You want us to talk. You want us to get through any issues. Like, you want us to do all this stuff. Let's be in an environment where we all feel comfortable and we're somewhere where we feel good, like somewhere we want to be. I feel like the whole time we were there, it just wasn't the vibe to begin with. So I'm like, it was just not where I would have ever wanted to go with my girlfriends.
All my sister did was literally put in the resort name and put racism next to it and got all the information that was needed. And that at that point, that's when my dad called me. Like, have you found your exits? And is security outside your teepee when you're sleeping? Like, and I've been in the South. I mean, I went to school for 4 years in Virginia. Like, I've dealt with racism, but not. This was like obnoxious. Like, there was one guy, y'all, who had a full Confederate flag outfit. He got it custom made.
They didn't even
Head to toe.
show that.
It was
Head to toe. Head to toe.
Head to toe. I'm like, where do you buy this shit? But that had to be custom made.
Yep. Crazy that MTV didn't show that.
Yes.
MTV didn't show the flags. MTV didn't show the people talking shit next to me. MTV didn't show when that guy told you to go home. So it's like, it's a weird situation.
We were going to the bathroom. We were waiting in line, and literally this woman with a baby almost got in a fight with our security.
Yes.
It was nuts.
What? Like, girl, what?
People were pissed.
It looked like out of a movie or something, because I feel like you see this shit on TV, but I've only been to like Orlando or Miami. I've never like been into the South. It was like something reminding me of like some kind of movie that it just seemed like it was back in time a little bit.
I thought I was in Get Out.
Girl, I know you said that. I was like,
I literally said that, and Jade was like, oh shit.
And we're out in the dark in the middle of nowhere in the woods.
Yes.
Like, so it was even more creepy. It wasn't like we were in some like hotel, like we were really just in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, and these like little teepees made out of paper damn near.
Like, we deadass got like the center seat, so everybody in the whole rodeo were just staring at us.
Yeah.
And it was like,
like, why are you complaining about being at a rodeo with black cowboys? That wasn't it. That was not the issue.
No, it was not anything like I'd ever seen or what I thought it would be.
Cracking. When they started cracking that whip, I was like, yep.
No. When he pointed the gun right at the audience.
He pointed the gun at us.
I was like,
Literally at us.
And I was like, this isn't safe. And then he's like about to give the gun to the little boy that's like 5 or 6. I'm like, hold the fuck on. We were right in the front.
When he cracked the whip, Maci looked at me and said, okay, let's go. Let's go.
My ass came running, almost slipped in the water because I was like, what is happening? It just started going off course. I'm thinking horses and you're getting on like a bull. Like I thought, I didn't know it was all this extra, whatever this side stuff was. Like, I'd never seen that. I haven't even seen that stuff in movies or nothing. I was like, where the fuck did they come up with this entertainment?
I thought they were just gonna ride the bull. I didn't know it was gonna be
Me too.
It was a whole presentation of America. It was so weird.
It was crazy. It was weird. It was just like, we're all over here thinking it's going to be one thing. And then we were like, this is vastly different than what we thought we were going to experience. And it was really, really loud. And I feel like a lot of noise and pops. And like, it was so much noise that it was like so overstimulating too. There was so much going on. I felt like nervous stomach the whole time.
It was not.
I think we would have had a better time if we just stood in that little campground right there, like not go anywhere else.
Yeah.
True.
For sure.
Oh, gosh. I definitely agree.
Big trip though was that what happened to all of us, not just to me, but to all of us, it made us have to have certain conversations. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We about it. It couldn't just be ignored. And I think that's the beauty of things, is when certain things do happen that are shitty, and I was pissed, but at the end of the day, like, we had to have really deep conversations to understand, okay, why do you feel this way, and why do y'all feel this way, and then why do you feel this way, and how do we figure it out so that this doesn't happen in the next trip?
Yeah,
True. Like, that's one thing I feel like is a positive out of the situation, is that you can voice your opinion, and you have at least people around you, like at least a handful of the girls that you're close enough to where you're like, I can say how I feel, and people are going to sit there and actually listen to me and empathize with me and understand. And I think that's important, because nowadays everyone has so many different groups of friends with different cultures and ethnicities that have different thoughts on so many different things. So it's good to share with each other your experiences and just like picking each other's brains.
Yeah, definitely. I took a lot. I mean, it's such a like, I feel like I took some really good things and really good knowledge and experience away from something bad. So it's like hard to be like really glad it happened, you know, because I'm not.
Right.
I know for me, like, I feel like I learned a lot on that trip. And I was like, I feel like we did by the end of the night get to a place where it was like, all right, cool. Now that that's out of the way, now we know how to handle it in the future.
Right. Exactly.